Welcome back to the exciting adventures of Beefstick the Barbarian. Last time, we went back to Defiance Bay, talked to Lady Webb, then poked around the sanitarium, talked to the head warden, who's a statue. Took me freaking like 20 minutes to remember that. And then started poking around the place, looking for the person who's the Lead and Key operative who has supposedly infiltrated the sanitarium. Now, this guy Azo is definitely acting weird. He's pretty full of himself. He's doing some reckless experiments that he should not be doing. I got the key to the north wing from him, so let's go there. I have a feeling, whether he knows it or not, he's being manipulated by the Lead and Key. So, I should find the north wing. Obviously it's not this way, but I'm kind of just poking around. So, it looks like we got a bunch of cells here. This guy who's, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm gonna leave him alone. Flesh construct, another patient. Don't mind me, Mr. Flesh Construct, I'm just passing by. There's the north ward, I got the key. Before I go in there, let's poke around here a little bit. That's the main room I came in through. There's another flesh construct. There's a door I can't do anything with. Talk to this guard. Keep your distance. Wick's in that cell back there. We've had incidents when people got close. Fair enough. Alright, into the north ward we go. Is this my face? Tell me! I don't look like this. Whose face is? This is not my face. Can't talk to this door? No? Nothing? Nothing? Okay. Can't do anything with that one. Thundering sky, rain of blood, innocents must drown. Alright. The flames must be fed, watch them rise. Yeah, that's, yeah. You just, yeah, you keep on doing what you're doing there, crazy person. Graham, this man has the look in his eyes of a hunted animal. And that's your approach. He staggers backward to the far corner of his cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls if it would get him farther away from you. He cries out, a bizarre primal utterance like nothing you have heard. I need to ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed they are words at all. The mutilations of animancy, crueler than any torture, to disfigure the soul, Let us return the favor to the animancers of this shit heap. Freyo said you were being treated by Cadmanezo. He looks at you with uncertainty. Slowly, tentatively, he steps closer to the front of his cell, and as he does so, for the first time you can perceive his soul within your ken. It is misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanses of it have been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look further into Graham's soul. Yes. You project out toward the main soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks into its depths. Maybe Azo is the Lemon Key spy. Because I'm having a feeling this guy is not. But I'll get down to that. Because the clue said someone who is a captive of his own free will. It could be the head warden in the statue. He had his soul transferred in the stat. That would be kind of weird, but Anyway, you're in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Standing at the door is a rotund, balding man, that would be Azo. His upper teeth and pointy nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else. In your mind is a single word, and the word is no, but it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knob and you feel yourself begin to crack from within as you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats, and you are screaming a scream you can barely hear. Another night. Heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door. The flesh giant, the artificial being just outside, but facing left, facing the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, then rights itself, turns away, and leaves. Graham looks at you, still wide-eyed, but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. Interesting. Did that boy take over the flesh construct? And is one of the flesh constructs now. Was the boy the 11 key spy? And he transferred himself into... Oh, is the spy the Grandmaster himself? Because he could transfer his soul. Did he transfer himself into a flesh golem? A flesh construct? Ushgrim. A willowy adolescent boy stands in the center of his cell, gawkish, stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. Yes. You close your eyes and edge forward toward the boy's soul. And as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm, all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath, as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You are standing in a cell now, the same cell in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing toward the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart toward the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel, you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs, and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers, and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands on a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Oh, so is this guy trying to mess up Azo's research? Because Azo's research could be going against their plans? Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you are outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You are acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to a machine, the one you had tampered with. You see her arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl. But this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous, unlike the others. This one has no soul of its own. Oh, he inhabited the body of a hollow-born girl. The man speaks, and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. "Bear witness," he says, and pulls a lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow. But the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills with a radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs the set of the electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading his work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. But you make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with a soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. "Behold!" he says, but there is obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. "How do you feel?" he asks at a volume meant for the crowd. And this is the moment. At the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hands outstretched, but you run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your own head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd, and by the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who would put their faith in animancy now? You are pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders, and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle at last on a room you have seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Adra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in the cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There is mistaking now that it is the soul of Theos Ix Arcanon, the man you have been searching for, that gazes out from that burrowed husk. A watcher. You made me into a watcher. I need you to undo it. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, and seems to think better of what he's about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look. You hunger. Hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You are like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backward with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down a sick animal. Then suddenly he slumps forward. Well, this isn't going to be good.
How may I help?
Were there?
Hey.
Yeah? Quit?
What?
Hi?
Alright, Grieving Mother's up a level. 10 points to work with. So stealth, survival, and that leaves me with 2 points. Let's see, level 5 powers. Ringleader. Imprints an insidious and powerful compulsion to obey the cipher across all enemies in the area of effect, dominating the target and charming the others. 4 meter range, 3.72 meter radius. Target dominated for 12 seconds, foe AoE charmed for 12 seconds. That's pretty good. Borrowed Instinct. Ransacks an enemy's intellect and perception for energy, causing damage to those enemy attributes while boosting the cipher's defenses and accuracy. Minus 8 intellect, minus 8 perception, plus 20 melee accuracy, plus 20 ranged accuracy, plus 20 deflection, plus 20 for melee. Detonate. Splinters the target's soul with sheer force, inflicting raw damage to them. Targets with low endurance explode, causing crush damage to all in the area of effect. 5 meter range. Target 33 to 55 raw. 2 meter push. Tactical meld. Connects the mind of the cipher with an ally to gain the ally's knowledge of his or her enemy, bestowing an attack bonus upon the cipher toward the enemy the ally is attacking. Plus 20 accuracy. Alright. It's a slow casting spell, but that is a pretty awesome spell. I think I want the Ringleader. Borrow Instinct. Detonate. I wish the range was better on that. I think I'm going to get Borrowed Instinct. The range on Detonate is just so short. The raw damage is pretty awesome, since it can't be resisted. And Pallegina. She's got 8 points to play with, so we'll give her some stealth. Then I can't do survival. Yeah, I'm still going to go with stealth. Alright, Paladin abilities. Liberating Exhortation. I've seen this one before. Lost Charge, Sworn Enemy, Deceptive. Deprive the Unworthy. Soul. This is a passive effect that'll always be... Yeah, I'm gonna go with Righteous Soul, so that'll always be active. Alright.
Your will, Watcher.
Potion of infused with vital essence. Plus 50 max endurance, plus 50 max health for 45 seconds. Fuses the caster with vitality, giving a temporary increase in current and maximum endurance. Cool. I gotta give it to Palgina, no one else can hold it right now. But ultimately, I think I'm gonna have Alaf use it. The chains grown with added weight. Crescent bite marks pit the edges of the cop. Crap, I gotta fight through this too, huh?
Hey.
Yeah? Quit?
Huh? Hey.
Yeah? I'm ready.
Hey.
Huh? I'm ready.
Go on an adventure, Horavius. Have fun.
Indeed.
I should probably tell him that his experiment was sabotaged. What have you done? You have been experimenting on patients against their wills, mangling their souls. I have witnessed it with my own eyes. Azos feigns drains of what little color it had. How could you possibly? Look, it had to be done. Ethelmore and the others, they took everything from me. Everything when I was this close. I had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the value if I'd succeeded. I had something that could make all these hollow infants into something like a real person. And with a few more patrons and a few years' research, who knows? No one has come that close with the legacy. It's why I have to continue. Why I have to risk everything where to work. Everything here working in secret. It's why you have to lie to Ethelmore for me. Tell him you've cleared me of all suspicion. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Then I can't let you get in my way either.
That's a bad idea, buddy.
Hey.
Norfolk patient Graham. Subject is a male, approximately early 30s. Powers of speech absent, presumably as a result of overfragmentation of his soul. As such, he's the ideal... Okay, I've already read this. His research journal. I'm close to a breakthrough. I have found an ample source of essence now, and the vessels have responded positively to infusion with the proxy. Human trials are the next logical course.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
I shall be discreet.
I gotta tell Ethel more what's going on. Wow, I'm gonna get attacked by guards too? Alright. There you go.
Nice and quiet.
Wow, these guys are gonna attack me too? Hold on, they haven't spotted me yet completely. You've done enough here. Leave this place immediately. That's it? It's done, huh? Alright. I'm out. Well, I guess Heritage Hill is all that's left. I should maybe talk to Lady Webb, though, and tell her about what just happened. Whoa! Assassins! Alright, well. It's the area of effect, 3.72 meter radius. But she needs to get a lot closer to do that, so let's just do some mind blades for now. We'll get her. What about here?
job.
Ah, very nice. All charmed. They don't know what's going on.
Hey.
Tell me.
They got nothing.
Hey.
Quay?
Written on this scrap of parchment is a concise but detailed description of you, including your name, your distinguishing features, and everyone you've known to have associated with in your brief time in Durwood. But who would know that? That much information about me. Did Lady Webb try to have me killed? She's one person who would have known all this.
Yes.
The plot thickens.
How fares your search?
There's something I can tell you about the Leaden Keys operations.
Well, let's hear it.
I found Theos in Brackenbury Sanitarium impersonating a patient. He was trying to damage the public's opinion of animancy.
Forgive me. It is unlike Theos to leave witnesses. He must be furious.
Her eyebrows raise, two painted lines over barren, slothing skin, her forehead a lattice of wrinkles upon wrinkles. The corner of her mouth perks. Yeah, I'm sure he's pissed. Believe me, he tried not to leave any witnesses, he just failed. Because I frickin' slaughtered my way out of there.
He did not aid you as you'd hoped, I take it? Well, take heart. With any luck, when he has finished his business, he will surely come and find you again, if only to kill you while you sleep.
Well, that's reassuring.
This news of yours makes sense, of course. To dabble in animancy is to puzzle over the secrets of the gods. This would not be the Leaden Key's first action against it. But if this is connected to their other activities, we may be in for something on a much larger scale.
I think we are.
That isn't enough to take to the Duke, but we're close. Avar Wolfgren is a cautious man. He will want to know everything possible before being moved to action.
Well, I guess I need to get to Heritage Hill. I was hoping to find a different way in, but I guess I'll just bribe my way through. If I can. So that's pretty much all that's left for me to do for the main missions here, I think. I should talk to Grieving Mother.
Your thoughts must
Your
flow
mind
deep comes
indeed.
bearing questions, Watcher.
You addressed me as a watcher when we met. Do you know what a watcher is? There's a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she's going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen.
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle, a familiar one.
Yet I do not know where it came from. If I have given offense, oddly enough it feels as if she's not speaking to you. It feels as if she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill, which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. If I have given offense, forgive me. Forgive me. You would know more than I. Why are you afraid? I do not know. It is an odd, old feeling. I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when you saw me. It is said watchers see much that others do not, and I have been hidden from the eyes of others for some time. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see, but their minds will not remember past the call.
Call?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me, but to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear, a peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? I divert the flow of their senses down a different path, to a place easily forgotten. It is not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds registers a figure, but the memory slips away. They see a woman, but there is no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions, and I have none to ask. When we first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
As she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, like the blood of the hunt swelling up in you. You suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her ever knowing. There's something about her mind, like a weapon rack, where you could reach in and draw forth a blade if you wished and keep it as your own. And suddenly you find yourself back in her, your present thoughts. Though you were away for but a moment, she seems unaware of your diversion of thoughts. It may be one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks upon the ground. Perhaps you'd like to hear what I saw in your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming of her wrists quelling the rise within her. She's frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
And what did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
The dream, the memory I saw upon meeting you, it was you helping give birth to a child. There's a silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance, a newborn child, almost exactly like what you heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both her hands as if weaving, her wrists chiming as she does so, in a semblance of the gentle turning she provided while the newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognize the motions and the words from the memory, even as they are new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, the child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weaves almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar, just as she did in the memory. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were cut, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, the chimes echoing her movements. In a ragged voice, you hear her speak. The voice is that of a much older woman than the one before you. Harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Her eyes, now terribly sharp and real, are filmed with white, silver white, like Adra. Ah, crap, I don't remember from her dream. Let's see if I can try to remember this. I do think it was the mountain ledge. She leans back as if looking back at the sky, but her eyes are closed, the film building on them. With a slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. I do not feel the memory. I do not know if it is mine, but... Her hair falls across her features again like a veil, and she nods, not with her chin, but with a push in her mind. But thank you for trying. Can we do it again? Maybe I guessed wrong.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Let's try this. She kneels before you on the ground. She whispers to you, hoarsely and even fainter with the distance between you.
The stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
It was desert rock, copper-colored, arched, blasted by the sun. It was silver Adra, its surface warmed by the sun. It was a plateau of granite carved into a tower. She leans back as if... No, that's the wrong one. Let's try it again.
Tell me what you saw. Show me. The stone of the plateau. Its color.
Nope.
Tell me what you saw. The stone of the plateau.
As you watch, her hands rise before her. She clasps them and cups them as if feeling them for the first time, and she stares down into the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice as they swing with the movement. I probably should have done this right after my first meeting with her. It would have been a lot easier to remember all this stuff.
And what did these hands hold?
Again she speaks, sharp, hoarse. They held a mother while she gave birth, painfully. Nope. Was it the chimes? I think it was the chimes.
Tell me what you saw. The stone of the plateau. And what did these hands hold?
The same chimes you hold now. No. Damn, I'm like batting like 100 on these.
Tell me what you saw. The stone of the plateau. And what did these hands hold?
I'm not sure. There was a child you were bringing forth in your hands. I don't recall. There's a sudden intake of breath and then a release. Her eyes blur close, forming into slits, but in the brief glimpse you have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seems to have smoothed. She swallows once, twice, and then you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw. Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
There is surprise, followed by a rising horror swirling beneath the words. With the words comes a river of impulses, thoughts as if loosed from a breaking dam, and your mind wraps the impulses into words. You realize it is her muscles and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There's such an intensity you almost want to step back from the flow, but you find the wave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. Among them is the name, Watcher. What is the birthing bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glanfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
Where's the birthing bell located? The birthing bell lies deep in the great forest of the Durwood, at the borders of the Glamfathan lands. Surrounding it, barely a town, not one you would find on any map, but it held an important place for those there, even if it were far from the beaten track. Small families, tied like a knot, joined at the wrist and the mind. All were welcomed, all had a purpose. In your memory, were you helping a woman give birth?
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There was much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Adra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide draughts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me about the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me from the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in mother's thoughts.
You sense the mother's thoughts? Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, as can hardships, and most of all the sharing of what is familiar. The bell itself provides a shelter for such thoughts, opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock where one could find shelter, clefts where you could feel the Adra all around you. As she speaks, you feel your legs bent, crossed, and the warmth of walls around you, and blankets woven thick beneath you. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter, and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasted years. What would happen after birth? Once the pain is channeled away and the mother and the child breathe again, I sound the birthing bells on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing in each other's thoughts. The bells open the way between them, let the feelings pass into the newborn and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave another memory and leave it tied in their minds. Did these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after. I gave a set to the child after delivery. It is a reminder of the memory the mother and child shared. You feel an odd sensation, a warmth, and you can feel a smile being shared. Then it flickers and it's gone. As the bells coax the child forth, so they accompany the child onwards, fastened about the wrists, to care for him in mind and body. There is no magic in it except the magic of practicality. If a child sought to leave their cradles or escape their cribs, the mother could know the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. The sensation of a smile comes again, slower, more knowing between you. If not watched, children, much trouble may be had from tiny hands. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer. When I no longer can hear them sounding in my mind, I know their spirit has changed and the bonds we shared are long gone. This shedding may last many years, or but a few, but it is necessary. You watched over these children for years after their births? Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their souls were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their mind and grant them strength, even from afar. It did not always serve, but it gave hope. Sounds like you've seen tragedy, too. Enough to never wish to feel it again. In the times before the bell, children who died were cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell. Sometimes, while alive, if their paths and futures were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are past. Why would you give a telling of the child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived.
There is a slow chill, and for a moment it seems as if she's going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen. And there's a spike of fear, alarm.
Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
Oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. Oh, she's said this before. You're frightened. Something about watchers. As the thought of watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain stabbing, and the sudden burn of lashes across your back and shoulder, and then it is gone, and you feel the grieving mother before you, silent, almost fearful, wary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
Why did you believe you were a watcher?
The world has many corners, and in some corners the name Watcher is more known. It is an easier title than others, and at times it is easier to wear. Placing a title upon what is unknown can dispel the fear of it, and I did not fight it. I even believed it true, though I knew little of the ways of Watchers. It even granted me strength. I was able to see the thoughts of others, shape them, and help guide souls. Watcher seemed enough, and the name seemed to matter little in the light of one's acts.
But if they came to you to read their child's soul, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. If only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
And what if the mother's emotions were painful, hurtful?
One must guard oneself when drawing upon the thoughts of another. The pain of a mother's rage and disdain. It can be a powerful poison.
You sound like you speak from experience.
Yes, and I live with that weakness still. I have learned to shield myself from such edged thoughts, strip them away, and to tell a clearer picture of the child.
So, you shaped their thoughts, made the readings true?
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
That is not what a watcher does. We do not shape minds, we see them as they are.
Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling. And with the weight of Watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a watcher that saved them. And with a watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and were strong.
Seems your readings were necessary.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
Did we share that memory, or did you inflict it on me? And suddenly there is a rasping cry across your consciousness. She raises her hands and you see the chimes draped from them, yet they make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
When that happens, I'll be making my own choice.
This choice is not yours to make, Watcher. You will do as the world needs, as its children need. It is greater than you and your twist of sight.
Alright. I don't know if I'm much keen to her messing with people's thoughts, even if it is for quote-unquote the greater good. That sort of thing has a tendency to go horribly awry. Alright, next time we'll find a way to get into Heritage Hill, hopefully.